And during COVID, I was doing one-on-one concerts. I actually sold them through my Instagram, and people could come on Zoom for 30 minutes. I had a menu of pieces they could choose from. I had a ton of classics like, well-known Chopin nocturnes, Moonlight Sonata, Clair de Lune, all that kind of stuff. And they could choose what they wanted to hear. And I played that for them. And then we had like a short conversation after. So there I am playing for one person and having the most impact. And even last year, so what people would do is they would buy those concerts for like their elderly aunt or uncle who's isolated. We're all isolated COVID, put it on the big screen in the living room and sent me a picture of this person like watching me on their big TV in the living room doing this concert. And somebody last year wrote and said, that my uncle still remembers that concert that you gave. And so those are the moments that we're like, this matters. This matters. That one moment for that one person matters way more than maybe one of the Candlelights I did for 300 people and they went home and they liked it, but it didn't like stick with them for 4 years. That was a big thing for me. I think we need to take off all of that arrogance or pretense around the numbers of people in the room and think about, why am I here?
Yeah. Or the style of music too. Like I know a lot of the Candlelight's music that you do is not the highfalutin classical poo-poo my achakaturas are historically correct kind of thing. Just realizing that they're, music is music and it's not highbrow or lowbrow as much as we want to put terms on it to help us distinguish, I guess. Genres,
another big learning lesson for me was this French singer-songwriter called Jean-Jacques Goldman. So Candlelight asked me to prepare this program. I didn't know him at all, except he does do, he has an album coming out with Celine Dion, so I should have known him. But anyway, I didn't. But from my dad's upbringing, country songs in me, I knew that if this guy's a big deal in France, then I better nail it because these people know every word, they know every note, and I have to walk out there and know the music. So I listened over and over and over. Like at the gym, I was listening to Jean-Jacques Goldman. And then when I played that specific concert, I mean, the response is enormous because these people grew up with him. And you have to understand, like, these songs have carried these people through hard seasons, through good seasons, through birthdays and memories in their childhood. And so I've had grown men in their 60s come up, tears in the eyes. Thank you. You have gold in your hands. It's meant so much to me. And I'm like, I'm a Canadian, so I am so honored that I paid this guy a little bit of justice because I know that he matters so much to this country and I'm a foreigner. So for me, that was a big way. Like, you just want to be very careful in those situations that you have a lot of respect and integrity for, he's a pop singer-songwriter and I am taking it very seriously because I know how much it matters to these people.
Yeah. But at the same time, that's more proof to the fact that music is such a universal thing is that yes, for instance, I feel like I struggle a lot with, certain Latin American music just because that flavor is not in my system and and I love it and I can imitate it okay, but it's you hear somebody from that background play that music and you're like, nope, that is
I'm very white. I'm a white guy. You gotta take some salsa lessons or something.
But we can come pretty close. I mean, my Spanish teacher in high school said, your accent is never going to sound like you're a native-born speaker, but you can get pretty close.
Yeah.
And I think I'm reminded of that in this conversation, too. Now, I am curious, what artist in Canada would that be comparable to? If someone, if you were not Canadian and you had to come to Canada and play the most well-known Canadian artist of...
I'm going to say like Anne Murray is one of them. I'm going to say, Bryan Adams, where I grew up in Alberta. Paul Brandt, Terry Clark, those are country singers. Anne Murray, she's from the East Coast. A lot of East Coast music is very popular in Canada. Also, obviously, Celine Dion.
Sure.
That's what comes to mind. These old songs. Shania Twain. Everybody loves Shania. Man, I feel like a woman. Da, da, da.
Do you ever do her pieces in your concerts?
No, because nobody over here would know her. It's very sad.
No one would know Shania Twain over there.
I don't think in Europe people know Shania Twain.
But Celine,
they might know a few songs. Yeah, they know Celine, of course, but that's the French connection. So Candlelight did propose a Celine concert, so I'm hoping to do it soon.
There you go. Well, get Shania over there too. You should get her actually. Just bring
He
her.
has a house in Geneva, and every time I go to Geneva, my dad says, "Did you see the Queen?" And I'm like,
Do
"No,
you
Dad,
have
I
the
didn't see
address?
Shania." Yeah,
Just go ring the doorbell.
I think it's on the lake, so all I got to do is go through every mansion on the lake and ring the doorbell and find Shania.
You'll find her.
Oh my gosh, during COVID,
Yeah.
I was listening to this sermon from St. Martin's in the Fields. I listened with my neighbors, and he used her as an example, and he called her Shania, and I almost wrote a complaint letter.
Shania, I think Shania was one of Mark Twain's cousins.
Yeah. I respect your sermon so much. I can't remember what it was about. I think he was quoting one of her songs. And I was like, it's Shania, please.
Shania. Yeah, I think that was one of Mark Twain's cousins, was Shania.
Okay.
A little different. Well, all this mention of Candlelight actually does... this is a fun question. Now, if you ever did a Candlelight... explain briefly what Candlelight concerts are for the people who are not aware.
Global phenomenon. They bought 10,000 candles, they stick it around a piano, and they sell an experience. They do not sell a classical music concert. And that, my friends, is the marketing genius behind Candlelight. They find beautiful venues. They know how to market and sell, unlike most classical musicians. Yeah. They spend money on advertising, and they get butts in seats. And I have played for, I'm going to say, 150,000 people in the last 3 years, which is insane to me, because they know how to sell tickets, and they put on what they call classical music concerts. They are not. They are light classical. I do some film music. I've got two actual classical programs, Chopin and Mozart. The rest is pop stuff arranged classically, you can say. And they're great, and they're fun, and I feel like they have healed me from perfectionism. They have given me so much joy, met so many people, amazing collaborations, amazing audiences. I've never been so appreciated and received from people who just love music, and they're not there to judge me or criticize me. So I feel like this was just a gift. I'm so grateful to be able to do this, and yeah, I love it.
And they're like interesting venues sometimes too. Like they're not always a hall.
Insane. I mean, I played the Cathedral in Bordeaux. That was just incredible. I do a lot of Einaudi because that's like the closest classical thing that they, he's considered classical on Spotify. Like, with all respect, he's not, But so in that cathedral, we weren't allowed to play anything except him because it was like kind of meditation music. But I'm happy to present a concert of kind of meditation style. No problem. But I'm not going to pretend that it's Chopin or that it cost me the same time to prepare as a Chopin recital. Yeah. But anyway, that's an aside. And the aquarium, obviously very cool. Many venues, outdoor venues are always my favorite. I think playing outside is so special. Very cool experience.
And you're an iPad person, so you don't have to worry about the pages flying off into the breeze.
Exactly.
Correct.
That's also like turning pages. I think the main reason I got the iPad was because A, all of your scores are with you all the time, and B, you can turn your own pages.
Has there ever been a gust of wind strong enough to knock the iPad off?
No, but sometimes it like fell back when I kind of perched it, because I like to lay it kind of flat so it doesn't look so obvious, and it kind of just slid back a little bit. But once it turned off because it was too hot.
Ooh.
And then once it was dying because it was too cold. So, you always got these things.
What does somebody just come along and breathe on it, like from the side to warm it back up?
No, I turned the low battery on, which was a very bad idea because then the screen dimmed every 10 seconds, so I couldn't read the notes anymore. So I had to keep frantically tapping it to make it come out of low battery.
Like
that wasn't good.
No.
That wasn't good.
But those were all my unplanned questions. The fun planned question that I had about Candlelight is they're not real candles, correct?
No, come on, Robert.
Okay.
Have you seen my dresses? I would have been on fire many times by now.
Okay, well, we might get to the dresses. But the question is, if all the candles were scented once upon a time, what would you hope that scent might be? You're sitting around thousands of candles, and you have to be surrounded by a scented candle. What is the scent that you hope that it is?
I kind of hate any scent, so I get overwhelmed. If it's too strong. So that sounds like a nightmare to me to be surrounded by 10,000.
Well, that's the other part of the question is what scent do you hope that it's not? So that maybe any scent.
Like any scent, yeah. Or something supernatural like the scent of fresh grass or, leaves or something nature.
Yeah. See, I'd just start sneezing if it was just the smell of grass everywhere.
Like maybe the smell of fresh rain or dew. I could do that.
There you go. So that'd be nice.
Yeah.
And that would be good for the style of music too, the light classical.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do fall. All right. Well, that ticks off my Candlelight question. Let's check
Did
Instagram.
you make these in ChatGPT?
I asked people. No, I did actually. You want to hear one of ChatGPT's questions? I haven't gotten to those yet.
Oh no.
Here we go. I also always say GBT, and I know it's GPT, but my lazy
I actually don't know what it stands for. But
always
anyway.
says, I don't know what it stands for. Well, on the Crushing Classical podcast, you mentioned that what audiences want isn't perfection, it's humanity. Can you share an instance when letting go of that perfect ideal opened up a meaningful connection?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I've got a story for you. So
Thank you, ChatGPT, for that question.
I played. Thank you for that insightful question.
Yes.
Playing Victoria Hall. You mentioned venues. Victoria Hall is one of the biggest halls in Europe. All the greats play there. I'm talking like Zimmerman, Argerich, like big pianists. And then I got to play there. It was insane. It was beautiful. 3 balconies. You walk on stage, 700 people. You're like, what is this? This is so cool. The piano is amazing. The technicians. The other thing is the professionalism, right? Like I'm standing backstage and I can see the screen of the stage and they're like, artist entrance in 5, 4. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Then they swing the doors open for me and I like enter in. I was like, whoa, like I'm so used to setting up the chairs for the audience and like sweeping the floor, like
lugging the bench on from the Subaru.
Yeah. Exactly. Getting the bench out. I mean, I do this for Opus 16, my concert series. Like sometimes, anyway, whatever. My life is wildly, there's many varieties.
We love it. Portfolio.
So I'm in this amazing hall. I want to play rep that's challenging to me. So I had this Christmas program. Now, a lot of it, I had to play some Christmas classics that are pretty easy, but I'm like, this is my chance. So what am I going to do? Okay, I should play Clair de Lune. This is beautiful. But I hadn't played it in a while and I didn't have a chance to warm up on the piano because my hair and makeup artist came and then we were doing the photo shoot and the dress. And it was just like a lot of people around me. And that's something else I've had to learn. But anyway, so there's no time to warm up properly. And I was worried there's like a middle section with a D flat arpeggio thing happening. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure how clean that's going to be.
Yep. And it's weirdly awkward. It should not be that awkward.
It is
right?
Awkward. It's an awkward thing.
So I checked it. Okay. I feel verified.
I've got a piano group chat and I said to them like, hey, help, and the response came back and said, just go through it twice and you'll be fine. And so I did that, went through it very slowly twice, just trusted, played it. I don't remember how it went. I mean, I was playing in Victoria Hall. Anything's going to sound good in Victoria Hall. Okay. You got to look at the pictures after. It's incredible. Then as you know, I go stand and talk to the audience as they come out, which is hugely important. Anyone listening to this, go talk to your audience. It's how they're going to fall in love with you and come back, and they love it. They appreciate it so much. This girl comes up to me, big eyes, and she says, it has been my dream, my life dream, to hear Clair de Lune live by a pianist. Thank you so much for playing that. And all I can think of is I wasn't going to play it because I thought I was going to have a couple wrong notes. Yeah. And this girl's telling me that it was her dream of her life. And because, she loves piano. She watches it on YouTube. She'd never seen it live before. And she was just so touched. And I'm like, oh, Michelle, you got to get over yourself.
Yeah.
Because what am I robbing people of if I put my own ego above sharing?
But how do you do that? I feel like it's hard because especially if you're a soloist, quote unquote soloist, primarily. Oof. And I work with singers a lot. So they are often quote unquote soloists, and with that comes a lot of spotlight and a lot of kind of expectation and grandeur, and all that's well and done in theory what you just said, and it's a wonderful reminder, but like how do you actually put that into practice before it's the moment? I think that was I think it's great that you ended up playing that when you weren't going to, but like what's something that you can, I don't know, how can you repeat that if those egotistical, not you, but how can one no,
I definitely have an ego. You can say it. It's okay.
No.
But I agree with you.
You've seen my Instagram channel. I did too.
No, I'm not offended because I think the ego is something that we constantly have to have kind of this interaction with and being like, okay, I need you here, but you can't be too much. So I'm also learning this as a, quote unquote, public figure speaking to people, but then also just recognizing humility is the way forward. And like humility is how we become bigger and better and can give other people place. So I'm thinking a lot about this. And I think that I've changed my mindset to I'm here to serve. I'm here to give what I have to give. But of course the insecurity is going to come in and like I'll share another example, which is a little bit embarrassing, but last week I was playing in Porto for my teacher from university. And we were playing this, I'm working this nocturne with him. And there's this moment where the phrase finishes and then there's a rest before you take back the main theme. I'm talking about Opus 20, posthumous nocturne for any pianist listening. And I kind of like whipped through it because I was a little bit uncomfortable and I'm nervous playing for him and whatever. And I want it to be good and I want him to think that I'm good and all these stupid things. And then he's like, what, you don't like silence? And I'm like, no, I don't like silence because I know I blew through my rest, but it's because I'm still a little bit uncomfortable on stage when I have this moment of doing nothing, the silence. And he looks at me, he's like, well, it's not about you. It's what the music wants. And I was just like, oh, here's the knife in my heart. Like, I'm so embarrassed and also like so pinned. I'm like, yeah, you got me. Like, it's not about me at all. You're right. There's a rest here and I need to sit and just let the music finish and then take it back again. And stop worrying about what are people thinking about me. So I think fighting this ego thing or like overcoming the ego is going to be a lifelong, hopefully not lifelong, I don't know, constant dialogue of like, how can I give what I have to give and be a catalyst rather than being like, am I good enough? Look at me. Actually, perfectionism is actually egotistical because it's so self-centered, so self-focused. Mm-hmm. Like, what if we just get over ourselves?
Yeah. Well, and I think for some, I mean, I'm a selective perfectionist. I'm very perfectionist about certain very specific things that really don't matter in the grand scheme of things. But that's I guess what God wanted with me. But I think some things, it's interesting that you say hopefully not lifelong. Maybe it will be lifelong, but the times that the scales are weighed more in your favor hopefully diminish over time. I think sometimes we have things that are lifelong things that we never really conquer, but hopefully, at least for me, I feel like those certain things, like I will never fully conquer those weird perfectionism things, but I can get better at realizing them and being aware of them and not letting them drive the ship as constantly. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think in that moment I had the choice of like getting kind of shrinking back and being maybe defensive or just, you know, and I just took it. I'm like, nope, he's right. And I need to own this. So I think that's part of the growth is that you recognize when your ego stepped in and it shouldn't have, and you say, okay, ouch, I'm gonna switch some tactics here. It's not about me. And I think that's why, you know, I've had people ask like when that moment of applause at the end, they're like, oh, how does that feel? I'm like, it doesn't actually touch my head. And I've been very clear with myself about that. Like, this is not the moment of affirmation. This is not, you know, there's a pastor I listen to a lot. He's like, if you live by their praise, you will die by their criticism. So it's not at the end when everybody's clapping for me that I'm like, I'm awesome. I'm just like, you know what? I'm glad they liked it. I'm going to go talk to them at the door. I hope that I can have some more personal connection or conversations with people. But like, it's not like I get my little filling at that moment, like, you know, suck up all the juice or something.
Oh, see, I do.
And that I'm glad
that's
about.
something
I'm
I
like,
struggle
okay, cool.
with because I really do love when people are just like screaming. And but it doesn't have to be for me.
Robert,
it can be
Robert.
No. It's just like the sound of it. It's not even about me. It's like I'll watch random sitcom clips on YouTube and the crowd will just go nuts for something. I get a rush and I just like I want to sit there.
I mean, I don't want to
listen.
say that I don't too. Like, I mean, of course, if
yeah.
they're clapping loud, you're like proud and satisfied.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to say that I don't think it feeds me. It's not my validation.
It's
but
not
of course,
your
I
fuel.
love when they're cheering. I love it when there's like a loud, when they're, you know, if they stand up at the end, you're like, okay, good. Like, I'm glad they liked it. But it's a different. It doesn't touch me as deeply, I think.
Do you feel like some of this awareness has come more since you've been a coach as well and helping other people figure that out? Because I feel that for me is trying to teach these things to other people has made my capacity for putting my ego in check much stronger than younger me.
Yeah. Yeah, coaching has changed me enormously. And I'm so grateful to Bernhard in Vienna, who has Be Your Own Manager. Coaching has taught me how to slow down. It's taught me how to ask better questions. It's taught me how to listen. And I think as a teacher, we know this from teaching music, that when you have to explain something to a student, it's because you then have to think, wait, how do I do this? Like, I can do it. Maybe we can do something right away, but you're like, okay, why is this working for me? And now I have to figure out how to articulate it. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that I have things figured out. And besides, coaching is a different relationship anyway. Coaching is an equal relationship where the coach holds space for the client, the coachee, to think through something and to come up to their own solution, actually. And that's what I learned the most in my coaching course, was that actually for the majority of the part TFA, I'm acting as a consultant because people want me to just tell them what to post, how to get concerts, how to network, how to do the business side. So in that sense, I was like, okay, if I'm actually going to coach people, then I need to set it up a little bit differently. And I've learned that, and it's a lot of fun.
See, I'm not even sure that I've ever thought there is a difference between a coach and a consultant.
That was one of the biggest revelations for me taking this course. I was like, oh, wow. Okay.
So at least
The
over
coach
here, I
doesn't
feel like
tell you
those...
what to do.
See, I feel over here a lot of times those terms are interchanged.
Yes, because people don't know, and they just call themselves whatever they want to call themselves. So, but I'm taking this from the International Coaching Federation and reading about the ethics and like confidentiality and all of these things that we take like really seriously now, especially with vulnerable artists who are sharing their thoughts and feelings and fears. You just want to make, again, coming back to that safe space.
I like it. Yeah, because I mean, even because I call myself a coach, but it's not like a career coach. I mean, part of it gets into that.
You're
because,
a vocal coach.
Yeah. But see, in the classical world of things, at least as I know it, vocal coach is different than a voice teacher. And in the pop world, a lot of the times,
it is,
they're also used interchangeably too. So I'll get people reaching out to me on Instagram being like, hey, you're a voice coach. I really need help with my blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no. That's not... They're asking like a pop coach question. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but you can still help. I mean, you gave me a voice lesson that was helpful, and you also worked with Rachel. So, I mean,
but I didn't. I wasn't in there like talking about your larynx and talking about like the anatomical things.
Well, I learned what to do with my larynx from my vocal coach. Taught me about Yogi Bear.
Yes. Well, Yogi Bear. Oh.
Yeah. You have to talk like you're Yogi Bear, and then your larynx goes down. I'm Yogi Bear. I am Yogi Bear.
I don't think I've ever heard a better impression of Yogi Bear.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I've not heard many, so don't take it too
So you jumped on Instagram stories. Did anyone have any questions or no? Was it just like a total dud?
They don't care.
Everybody knows everything they want to know.
They don't care.
That's all right.
But do you have any pre-performance mantras or ways that you get... You've talked about flipping a switch before you go on stage. What does that look like? Or is that a private thing that you care not to discuss? Because half the time I feel like you'll be on your Instagram stories and you're like, I'm going on stage in 30 seconds and my shoe strap just broke, but I have to leave because I'm going on stage. Goodbye. But then you also talk about flipping a switch. And I'm curious, is that just in the 2 seconds before you go on stage? Or is it, what is that kind of put on the clown
makeup? First of all,
for you?
That was very accurate. So here's how it works. If the show's at 7:30, then 7:20, I'm still putting on my makeup. And what I've started doing is I'll film on my camera that pre-concert story. And I don't actually open the Instagram app. Because then otherwise I would get sucked into some messenger story or whatever.
So it's all a lie.
Well, I post after it happened. Yes, I don't post in real time.
Yeah.
And then the switch for me is probably like those 3 minutes before I go on. It's just like taking a moment of quiet. I can't be chatting with people. Like sometimes my dress designer, I got to be like, I love you and you need to leave. like I can't be with people till like 1 second before I go on stage. And I usually take a quick moment to kneel and just be like, God, this is for you. And I just pray that your spirit comes into the concert hall. And this isn't, I'm here to give and to be, to be used. And I pray that people will feel your love and that they will feel touched by the music and that they'll be inspired and that it's a good time. Also before the podcast, like just anytime I'm about to be in the public, I'm like, and that also probably helps with the ego. Cause again, like it's not about me and it takes the pressure off too. Cause it's like, I'm here to do my thing. And if you believe that you have a gift, then you're like, okay, like let that be seen. And it's not about you anymore. It's about like what's inside you to give.
That's interesting. I agree with that totally. I feel like I am a mix. Sometimes my flip a switch is everybody please get away from me right now. But then other times I'm like totally cutting up with people back there, and like as we're walking on stage, we're stopping a conversation because I want the performance to just kind of be part of the day. Like for me, if I start to treat it like now, and I think maybe that's part of what lessens the perfectionist thing for me, is that if I just treat it like it's another part of my regularly scheduled day instead of my whole day is now revolved around 7:00 tonight, and I must treat it like I'm going to go worship at the altar at 7:00 and everything. I don't know. For me, that seems to get me more in a tizzy. And I know a lot of people where they have to do that, where they're like, no, I have a performance today and I am not taking any visitors and I am relaxing in bed I would go insane. I would.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I do like getting to a theater like way early, just so I know that I'm there. But in terms of getting in the zone, I feel like I find myself doing that as I walk out instead of, or maybe like mine is like a 2-second thing. Like it's just like, go. Otherwise I start thinking too much. So it's interesting to hear that it's, similar yet different for you.
And I think flipping the switch is also about energy. So it's about,
yes,
bringing your awareness to the present moment, like getting the phone away.
Yeah.
And being like, okay, what am I here to do? What do I need to think about? Even if it's just that opening tempo, that opening note, or how you're going to walk out. I really worked a lot on my stage presence. I've worked a lot on it. I've read books. I've watched Taylor Swift videos. I've gotten live feedback from people. And so just walking out with that head held high, the smile, looking at the audience, like the bow, the confidence, that stuff I think about.
Oh, see, that seems so natural for you.
Oh, no. You can look back to videos even 2 years ago and you'd be really surprised at the difference.
Really?
Uh-huh. I walked out with like this rounded, apologetic look, like, I'm so sorry that I'm here and I hope that you like me.
I'm sorry to be here. Sorry you came to see me.
Sorry that it's me and not Martha Argerich. Sorry that, whatever.
Have you ever seen her live?
Martha? Yes. In Paris, just a couple years ago.
What was she playing? Do you remember?
Oh, no, I knew you were going to. I'm pretty sure it was Proc 3. Yeah, it was. And it was awesome.
Did she die? Yeah, I would completely die.
It was fantastic.
The biggest name, not that big names are everything, but the biggest person like that I think I've seen was Emmanuel Axe at Carnegie.
Oh,
and it
one
was
of my favorite
great. He was doing Chopin. It was an all Chopin program.
He's so great. And humble. We want to come back to humility. That's a really great artist I admire.
He sure seems like it. I mean, from his interview, I mean, I've never met him, but it definitely seems like he's a person, like just a person. So we usually here at the Fearless Artist Podcast, we like to leave our viewers by asking our guest for an action point. So is there any one call to action or whatever our usual host, Michelle Lynne, says, again, much more eloquently than I can ever hope to be, about a call to action for anyone out there struggling or feeling stuck and not being sure of what to do?
Yes. 2 things come to mind. Okay. The first thing is think back to a moment when you walked off stage and somebody came up and thanked you. What did they say? Why did your music touch them? What did you give them that day? And then, meditate on that and think about that before you perform again. Or even if you're a teacher in a studio and you had a parent say, he came home and he was so happy. Thank you for whatever it was. That is a really big clue that you're on the right path. And the second thing is we have a Fearless Career Day coming up September 8th with Bernhard Karras, who runs Be Your Own Manager in Vienna. It's a very similar community to the Fearless Artist, and we've invited a lot of great speakers in the industry to come and give like 50-minute sessions for an entire day. It's fully recorded. There's an early bird price discount until mid-August. So that would be a great way if you're feeling lost or stuck, or if you just want some inspiration and I'm really looking forward. We've got Angela Miles Beeching coming back.
I did like her episode a lot. I listened to her.
Yeah. She's great. And every session will have some kind of interactive portion where they're going to do an activity or a coaching with the group. So it's really interactive. It's not just lecture style. So I think that's going to be a great, great time to come together and meet as fearless artists.
Yay. Well, how can people find you online and get in touch with you? How can we follow?
If you're listening to this podcast, I'm pretty sure you know that we are the Fearless Artist Mastermind. And if you listened and you loved Robert, make sure you go follow Robert. He's great. Thank you, Robert, for being the very first guest host.
Well, thank you. And again, the 7-parter. So we'll have other opportunities to dive even deeper. Can we end with another just a hokey question?
Absolutely.
What's your favorite time of day to perform?
Oh, I'll tell you
Do
when
you
it's
have one?
not. Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
When most of my concerts are in my series is Sunday mornings. Favorite time of day? You know what? When I did the outdoor concert starting at 10:30 p.m.
Ooh.
and during the summer, a couple summers ago, and it was like pitch black dark with just the stars and the candles. I mean, that was really special. That was cool.
I think
But
I'd
then,
be
you know,
asleep,
you have a nap
but-
and you set your day
Yeah.
up differently if you're going to do a 10 p.m. concert. But
Yeah.
that's always really special. Kind of like that midnight mass feeling, you know?
That's true.
When you
It's
come out and
like
it's like
everything's
super
hushed
late.
except
It's
for what you're
exciting.
doing.
It's something different. Yeah.
Nice. Well, thanks, Michelle.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks
It's a
for
pleasure.
being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for hosting.
All right.
We'll see everybody on
Take
the
care,
next
everybody.
episode. Bye. Be fearless.